Hello world, welcome to the stream. First off, let me apologize because it's been like 2 weeks at least since my last stream. Just a bunch of busyness, life in general, and also kind of hit a point in the game where I wasn't quite sure how to proceed, and I'm still not 100% sure how to proceed, but we'll figure it out this stream. I've got an idea for a direction. And so we'll give it a go and see how it develops. So let me just give you a quick rundown of where we are. Let me just fire up the game from last time. We had completed the combat portion, so we are now able to attack our monsters and deal damage, and then the last stream what we did is we allowed the monsters to counterattack and then damage us. And right now, let me put this up on so you can see the terminal. Let's see. So the terminal is kind of blocking the... I'll just hide it for temporarily. So what you can do is you can hit attack. We're attacking the serpent. I'm hitting the button to attack, and eventually you'll deal damage and turn it into a corpse and kill it. And right now what we're doing is we are outputting all of that information to the console because we don't currently have a GUI to output to. But the idea is that we will output these to kind of an action log that's displayed right underneath the map. So it will appear in this portion of the screen. Notice how there's 5 or 6 rows of blank stuff down at the bottom here. So that's where we're going to put like the action log. We'll put the current player stats, stats about what level the player is currently on, that sort of thing. Alright, so I'm just gonna... So this is kind of the current state of the game. I'm gonna get trapped between the goblin and the kobold and probably get... Yeah, so they killed us, which at this point basically just makes them disappear, and hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. I gotta take a 2-second break. I'll be right back. I apologize. Alright, sorry about that. As soon as you start streaming, that's when all the distractions occur. Okay, so like I was saying, the player was just killed, and so the only thing that we have right now is we remove them from the game world. That will trigger an end state, an end of game state, where we'll transition to an end game screen, which we have not yet built. So that's kind of where we are right now. So I'm trying to think about how to build the UI. Right now we have an entity component system for our game, and I was originally thinking that we'd build our GUI using the ECS, but in doing a bunch of research and reading about, you know, whether that's a good idea or not, it's kind of a mixed bag, but I think the general consensus is that it's better to keep those two things separate. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the entity component system for our game state and all of the objects in our game world, and then we'll have another UI state that will basically keep track of all of the GUI objects. And so what kind of objects are we talking about? We're talking about, I think we're going to have views, some sort of view stack that will allow us to render from, kind of bottom to top of the view stack. And then each view will contain, its own graphical components, possibly. So let's just, I'll kind of elaborate a little bit more as we go on, but let's just get into this a little bit. There was one thing that I wanted to finish up and possibly add to the combat. What I realized is it wasn't currently out. Just for debug purposes, I want to output the current HP for both the monster and the player, so that I can make sure that that's behaving properly. So, let's see, we've got deal damage, we have health, check, death here. So this would be a good place to do that. I'm just gonna put a debug. I'm gonna wrap this in debug comments because we're not gonna leave this here. So I guess I need to put this down here. Alright, so we'll just output the current hit points for the defending creature. Just want to make sure that's working, so let's run this real quick. Did a couple swings, and he must have died because the goblin stepped right on top of him. Yep, it did. So here it goes. Let's let me show you real quick what the output was there. So you can see we hit, and then current HP goes to 0, and it would output them on you killed the. And right now I have the brackets monster. So the other thing that I wanted to add is change. Right now we're not capturing the name of the creature anywhere, so I want to store that in the world state and then be able to output it to the log messages. So let's just close my console. That's not what I wanted to do. Oops. I just wanted to hide it. Go. Okay, so that seems to be working. Let's see. Got monsters config file. So right now we're storing it under the name property, but we're not doing anything with that name property. Where are we at? It. Create. Parse. Oh, so we just parse it into. So I'm just reading this. See, the problem with being away from the code for so long is you forget what it is that you've done. So to refamiliarize myself. So we read our config file into game. It becomes an in-memory config object. Data structure, it's not an object. So where are we doing? Let's see. Which component makes most sense to add the creature name to?
Tuning out of starlight, the innocent lifetime flickers and flashes under a canvas. No.
I mean, right now we're using it for combat, but that doesn't really make sense. Maybe I just add it at the top level. It's really a visibility thing.
Still 18, it seems to be. And I'll tell you who's overrated. What's a beautiful person with some hideous dreams? While the lining isn't silver, we're verging on the side of the road that'll take us home.
Let's just do it here for now.
Read about your life in your local papers. Realize the end of us is getting near. You're just a droplet of paint trickled off your canvas. Delirious illusion flowing backwards through the river of color while we analyze to try to see it clearer. Secretly appealing to a lonely prisoner. Now what's your vision? Initiate your shading, blend the universe together in time. It only gets a little easier. Suddenly piece yourself back together now. What's your vision?
like that. Yes, it is visibility. Just doesn't seem as clean as it could be. Don't want to just copy the pointer. We need to actually do a string copy.
Man, I don't wanna have to give a damn about you or your inhibitions. And after all, you're the one who taught me love was not for everybody. However, I'm starting to see this world in the right light, yet it still gets darker. You see, it's just a simple symphony
The
or a painting, whatever. It's a natural path that spans infinitely, but my world is crumbling. Let it collapse into the abyss. In the midst of summer it won't exist. This emptiness, it's just a blank slate, waiting for a pain
we
to
can string dupe.
interfere.
That's what we want.
It's quite complex, but what I know.
Can malloc it. This one. Let's see. Visibility to get let's call it. Oh, sorry, gotta get the phone. Alright, sorry all, I'm back. Okay. Seems like the world is a distraction as soon as I start streaming. Let's see, so we've got many parameters in this call list. Let's send it in right at the front. So NPC name we're going to add typing skills today. All right, let's see. Well, all right, so now we've got our health check death. So we turn it into a corpse. Message that. Okay, let's look for. Get our visibility, a reference to our visibility here. So what we're going to do should be as simple as doing that. It's the only place that I have that right now. So the next thing we need to look for is npc add, which was the function that we parameter to. So, here's the config. Should not need to copy. Shouldn't need to copy this because I don't need an extra copy of this. This doesn't need to live for very long. It just needs to live till the end of this scene. So I'm not going to do string copy. Okay, let's see. Let's try building and see what explodes. Oh, something exploded. That's good. let's let it explode and I'll run it in debugger. So it's gonna it crashes on startup, so I'm gonna throw it in the debugger. Visual Studio. Make sure you guys can see that. Break, and it's blown up on our Malak. So doesn't it work? Viz data. Let's look at viz data name is null. Interesting. So oh, it's blowing up on the player because we're not assigning. So we need a protection for when this is null. That's the problem. Which I should have figured. So here, I should say if this data okay. There's our goblin. Let's see if we can kill it. Still, my current HP is 18 and it's 7, so let's see what we get. Okay, almost. Okay. And there it is. She says you killed the goblin, so that's good. It seems to be working. Nice. Okay. That is good to see. So, next thing I'd like to get working is I'd like to get that log that is currently in our console. I'd like to get that displaying on screen. So now we're at the point where we need to bring in our UI. And so right now we've got this render screen in our that we call once every time through our game loop. And right now it handles basically rendering our game world, which right now it consists of our map and all of the entities, game entities in our game state, and where they are in relation to each other. We have kind of a layering system built into that as well. So I've started to add a couple to-dos here. We want to have this concept of layering, but at a higher level, not just for game objects, but for views, which is what I'm calling a rectangular area on the screen that is drawable. And you can have multiple views on screen at the same time, and you can have views on top of other views. So a screen will be made up of views, and inside views, one view may contain like your map, so then you would have the map rendering stuff as part of that particular render cycle for that view. So what I'm envisioning is for our in-game screen we will have a view that contains the map kind of along the top, and then down underneath we will have one view that contains the message log, and then maybe another view that will contain player stats, dungeon stats, or whatever. So I've added a couple to-dos here. We're going to need to alter our render function. And we're also going to, this is in our game loop. Right now we just call render screen, and we just have the concept of a single screen that we are rendering. And right now that's our game screen. What I'd like to do is add the concept of an active screen so that we could have like your main menu be a screen, and then have in-game be a screen, and then have a end game screen. And so we'll add some logic here to determine what screen is currently being shown, and then render that screen. Got declare our screen. I think it's just in our main. Yeah, right here. So we're going to actually want a couple screens. Have them all. So let's add a to-do. Initialize by state, which is screens, stack, etc. I think I'm going to be a little bit lazy at this point, and just declare variables for each of the screens that I know I'm going to need, instead of having this abstract concept that just contains screens. So we'll do we'll call it in-game screen. And basically I'm just going to copy this because all of our screens are going to be the same. Intentionally break this so that we get our compiler to help us where we need to replace this. So this is going to be our in-game screen. So right now, we should just be able to do render in-game screen. Oh, let's have the concept of the active screen. That's what I want. So we'll do SDL texture. This is going to be active screen. And then we will just, for now, set the active screen to our in-game screen. For now. And so we'll do render. We're always going to render our active screen. I'll leave this to do because we may have some logic to actually change the active screen here based on the input handled. Let's see. Build. See if our compiler complains about anything. No. Still good. It's good. We're still just rendering our in-game screen. Good. So let's see what next. We're going to start working on our views, I think. That would be. Let's see. So I brought in this this file that I built a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago. I built about a year ago when I was starting to mess around with the concept of an immediate mode GUI. And so this is like a super simple implementation of an immediate mode GUI. And basically it has support right now for drawing a rectangular panel with a border. And then it has the ability to draw a button. So that is the extent of the supported control set. And we could go crazy and add like a bunch of other things, but for the purposes of this game, don't need complicated UI controls like scroll view or sliders or text entry or any of that stuff, because we're not even supporting the mouse, so we've already got a little bit more than we need for this game because I track input state of the mouse, but we're not going to use that. What we are going to add to this is the concept of a view stack. And so I guess we would associate this. Yeah, let's just have. So what are we going to want? This is going to represent a layering system of views, or a collection of views that may or may not be layered on top of each other. And so the idea is that each screen would have its own view stack. I said using a list, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, so we just have a list. Call it stack. A list of views. What do we want to? Other things right now, I'm sure we'll add to this as we go. Sense to have a
when you're gone, I don't know what to say when you're with me.
This is a waste.
Stuck inside my mouth.
So okay, so this is what we want. UI screen. Screen. Do so we'll create a screen, and then we'll also create a list, which we will this list. Again, I wrote the API and the API, and it's been so long away from it. This new. Yep. Oh, and then we give it. Give it an optional. Option. Let's do that. Okay, so we set up. We've now changed active screen to be our own screen type. And then we created our in-game screen, created a new stack, which is just an empty list right now, and then we're going to assign that to so now the active screen, let me get a reference to this, so it's this. Active screen, in-game screen is a structure, so grab a pointer to that struct. Down here we're rendering this becomes a UI screen. Alright, so just to make sure that everything's working, screen. So let's just update texture here. So
I'm burning in my skin. Can't get them out of my head. Words, these words you said to me, yeah. Stop my heart barely beating, and now I'm stuck on repeat. I can't sleep through this madness. It's madness. Tame the fire.
All right. I love it when a plan comes together. It still builds, still runs, no crashes yet. Okay. Alright, next step. So we're now passing our render. You know what? I wonder if we want this function to have logic to determine what screen it's rendering, or if we just want to hand it a screen and have it go to town. Let's see. Let's see, decisions. I'm not sure the best way to go about this. So my notes I've left to myself say add logic to render views from back to front. We've got the view stack in place that we can do that. I'm just wondering what is it that's contained in a view if I was to render it. Game view projects on functions. This is all game rendering game state. So this is set to console. Copy the console pixels to the screen, and we render the screen. So the console. So really, it's the console. Hey SZY, what's going on today? How are you doing? Finally someone in programming in C, yeah? I don't see too much of that these days. Which is part of the reason that I'm doing this is, I'm trying to get re-familiar with C myself and just kind of get back into, get closer to the metal. I do higher level language development agent, so this is kind of a nice thought exercise. It really forces you to think about memory management, it forces you to think about what the computer's doing, how things are laid out in memory, and which is a blessing and a curse. Sometimes it's really fun, and sometimes it's really frustrating. The languages I use on a daily basis, right now I do most of my development using Swift, because I do iOS development, but I also do some Android development, so I'm using Java for that. Those are my primary daily languages these days. But I've done all sorts of development in past positions, so I'm familiar with quite a few languages. So we really need to define what is a view. So basically everything is drawn to the console. So it's almost like we want each view to have its own console. I don't know. So we could have each we could have each console be the size of its view. Just have to set its font. So instead of this concept of screen, but I'm conflating the definition of screen. I wonder if we did this instead of having a Luisnin, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. I probably slaughtered your name, I apologize for that. Alright, so let's see. So, yeah, I think I don't want a screen, I want a console. Kind of figure this out as we go, so this could be messy. We could end up recoding some stuff over several times, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Just kind of playing here. We will do PT console init. Yeah, so each screen has its own console, and then we can use the view stack within that screen to draw things to that console. That makes sense. Oh, good thing. Guess I didn't solder it. Good. So we are going to have this, since the in-game screen is a full screen, we're going to screen width, screen height. And then it's also going to be some num calls, which is so this is our master console here. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to uncomment this. We need this back and then get rid of this. Maybe this one is going to go. So we'll initialize the screen. The screen will have a console. Active screen is in-game screen. So our render function needs to be an STL texture again. And in this case, we're taking let's see. I'm going to call this screen texture again, and then this will be active screen. All right, initializing the console, we're setting up stack, got our screen texture here, and we are sending those to under screen texture, and active screen. Okay, and then so up in our render we need to change a couple things because we don't have, it becomes, instead of just console, it becomes screen console. And so now we're going to render to screen console. Screen console. I don't see any others. I'm mixing things up now. Alright, we got a couple. Errors, Darksea90. Screen is not a member of UI screen. It's not. Wait. Oh, right, now this just goes back to... So everywhere that we have screen, this should be screen texture. Alright, it built. Is it going to explode? It's not. It's actually going to work. Love it when that happens. Okay, so we just refactored a bunch of stuff, and our player died there, so. My current hit points -17. So look at this. We've got a bug here where the player can go well below 0. That's pretty awesome. It registers the fact that you've died, but that's a weird one. Before we get back into the UI GUI coding, let's figure out what's going on with the undead player. So we've got deal damage, then we do health check death. So let's go to this and see what... I think perhaps it's just that we don't have a death state right now. So all we're doing is you have died. So this is actually... it's actually behaving appropriately. The amusing thing is that... So right now, when a creature dies, it turns it into a corpse, and then it auto-cleans the corpse after, I think, 5 turns. So the player is dying, but their corpse won't get cleaned up until 5 turns later. So I'm guessing that we died, and then it's like 1, 2, there's several here. And then the corpse is getting cleaned up. But there's nothing preventing me from still attacking. So this to-do will stand. It's not a bug. It's just unimplemented. So let's not worry about that now. Alright, so our UI screen consists of a console and a view stack. So what is it that views should contain? Perhaps a visibility. See, the game screen is going to be different than other screens because the game screen is going to use tap into the SUI, yeah, you control, yeah, C really gives you control over everything, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It makes certain things a lot more tedious, but you know, once you become really proficient in the language, it can, you know, the productivity hit is not really there anymore. And once you build up a collection of libraries that you can trust and depend on, coding in C is no slower than any other language. But when you dive into the nitty-gritty details, you know, it is much more granular. Hey, Goodster, how's it going? Where have I been? That's a good question. I have been busy, and you know, the thing with streaming is you need really like a couple of hours to set aside, you know, a block of a couple of hours. You can't really just do it for 15-20 minutes at a time. So it's tough to get those blocks of time set aside. But I'm gonna try and get better about that in this new year. What are my favorite libraries? You know what? this particular project, the point is to really not rely on any libraries. So, that said, we do use SDL to allow us the cross-platform input handling and the graphical output. And I do use the STB libraries. Specifically, this one I use the one for image formatting, which is Sean Barrett's libraries. He has several single source file libraries written in C. A lot of them revolve around game programming, but could have other uses as well. So let me, real quick now, I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's see if this is the, yeah, here it is. So if you go to GitHub and you check out, his username is Nothings. He's got a ton of public domain libraries, and again, these are high performance single file libraries, so they're easy to include, and really they're mix and match. So if you need image handling, you can drop this library in. If you need Elixir, if you need rectangles, image writing, there's font handling ones, all that. So it's pretty... I think he's still growing the library, but there are some solid libraries in there for you. So I would definitely check that out. So Nothings, his name is Sean Barrett. He's an expert C programmer. I would recommend you give this a try. So I'm using the image library from that, and I'm using SDL, but other than that, there are no libraries that I'm using for this project, which is part of the point. No pre-built engines, no pre-built libraries. We're doing it ourselves here. What libraries do people? If you're using C out there, what libraries have you found that are useful? If I make the view responsible for drawing itself, I'm thinking about having a view object or a view structure that will contain a bit of metadata about the view, maybe just an ID or something. I don't know. But having a function pointer to the function that would define the UI for that particular view. You're learning C now? Yeah, that's cool. Me too. Constantly learning, so. Let's just run with this idea for a minute. Let's have it take a function pointer, TypeScript game dev, there's a library called Superpower. That's cool. Is it, I assume you're doing more of a graphical game and not ASCII based like me. Probably doing some sort of sprite game. Is it 2D or 3D or? To I need to look up how to do function point. So let's do function do. Let's see. These hold. Anyone know how to drop the ban hammer on live EDU? Anyone? Anyone? You're doing 2D? That's cool. Yeah, so the plan for this game is that the way that I've done it, it actually doesn't have to be ASCII based because I've got a texture map that has all the ASCII characters on it, and I'm just cutting pieces of that and putting them to the screen. So there's nothing that says I couldn't swap out that texture map with a graphical texture map, and so I think kind of saving it towards near the end. And there's actually a kind of sprite library that I'm waiting to be released that I think would be perfect for this particular use. So I'm kind of waiting on that. Maybe when that sprite set is released, I will drop it in just for giggles on stream and see what it looks like. But I think we need to do this this kind of UI structuring work in order to be prepared to do that. I think the code would be more readable and safer if I use C++. I don't know, but I think that C++ is just as dangerous a language. There are certainly certain uses or certain libraries in C++ and certain coding practices that you can follow to be safer, but C++ is pretty much at the metal itself, just like C. So you definitely have enough rope to hang yourself with, and you can be just as dangerous. All right, so I wanted to declare a function pointer, and so what I'm gonna do, I think it's gonna be a void function. It's gonna return nothing. do it like this. So it's going to be this is one of those things in C where it's like I need to look at some sample code here. So I can do it this way. Right, we'll call it render function, maybe? And it will take a I think it'll take the screen, take a console, and it'll take a console pointer. So then this becomes spell this out. Okay, that builds. Oh, sorry, yeah, you can't type links. I haven't enabled that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, goshdarnfunctionpointers.com. Yeah, that's the that is the safe for work version of that website, which is pretty hilarious. So if you go, if you're ever interested in declaring a function pointer in C, which is one of those language features that is like really not obvious, you can go to goshdarnfunctionpointers.com. And then there's a not safe for work version of that URL as well, which is, something functionpointers.com. There's also a couple other sites like that have some of the for the Swift language that have some of the rougher bits of the language kind of defined. So there's one for blocks, defining blocks in Swift. But those are very helpful and kind of amusing. I like the tongue-in-cheek URLs. All right, so we got a I think we've defined this properly. It'll be initialized to. So the idea here for our render, we're given a screen. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to walk the list of views from back to front and call each view's render function. So what to do? Click on this to do. Should be. Just checking something. Second. because of course I can't remember how to walk my own lists, so we're really dusting the cobwebs out today. So we're going to walk the view list for the screen. And we are going to call view but we need to hand it the console, so we need to hand it screen console. And the way that we're going to do is for the list of views, the head of the list is going to be the bottommost view in the stack. And so as we walk the list, we'll render bottom, then potentially other layers. So call that. And then basically, then we're going to, then we'll jump down here to this update texture. Basically, we're going to render all the views, or have all the views render themselves, and then send the console pixels to the screen texture and render the screen. So this, the next to do here is move this game view rendering code to its own function, which would be this, the render function for the map view. So what we're going to need to do is add a map view, or add a view that will hold our map, and then create a render function that then shove a pointer to that function into the view representing the map. So I'm trying to think where the best place for that is. Thinking initially, just to get it working, we'll do it here, and then we'll move it someplace more logical. But just to do that. Let's see. So we're going to create a new view. I'm just going to call it map view for now. And it's just going to be so we'll do map view, set that to what is map render, you ask? Well, that's what we're going to define right here. So it's a void action point. Do it. That's where it is. So we'll do internal. We'll call it game map render. Takes a minute. So game map render. So define our view. We need to add our view to our list of views. So we'll do IG do list. So G, this is our list. It's going to be after L because we're going to shove it onto the head of the list. So it's going to be map view is our data. Verify that. List insert after it takes the list, the element, and the data. Okay. Hey, I remembered something from my own code. It's super awesome. List insert after, null. Okay. So what we're going to do now is take this code. This is the scary bit. Take this code, get rid of it from here to here. Yikes. Oh, it's two. No. So this we're going to do, change this comment to render views from back to front. And this function is not going to live here. I think this will probably move to some other file where we'll keep all of our render functions. But for now, we're just trying to make this, we're trying to move stuff around without breaking everything. So in our game map render, we've got set up our layer rendering history because the game map itself has its own layering system. And this is, so in this case, screen console anymore, it's just the console that we test. And so it should render to that console, and when it finishes this, the console will have been updated appropriately. So we render, and then when we fall out of this loop, which means we've looped through all of the views that we've rendered, we'll then put the console pixels to the screen texture, and then render the texture to the physical screen. There's a lot of words that have multiple meanings here, which makes it a little extra confusing. All right, let's see if it builds. It does not. It says the list insert after actual parameters, not a pointer. 36. It's not because IG map view is this should be a pointer. To our map view. Alright, it builds. What, anybody taking bets on whether it's going to explode? Oh, it didn't explode. Yeah. Okay. Just did a major refactor security system without having the whole thing down. Which I'm more than a little happy with. Okay. So let's keep going. The thing I really wanted to get working today was getting that message log rendered to the screen instead of to the console. So there is a somewhere in here where log. Oh, add message. This is our thing. So right now it's just stubbed out to printf to the console. So to do here, so when we build our UI system, have the messages display there. Also display, we're not storing them in a buffer. I thought we had already.
Every man has his own ambition.
So we can show the last few messages at once. Alright, so I guess step one is adding them to a buffer. let's call this message. And it's going to contain the message text, and it will contain the color.
Every man has his own ambition. But even the impossible can happen.
This we're going to have to do probably as dynamically allocated because we need it to live beyond this function. So we'll do so that should allocate and set up our message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a protection, some protection here. Set message to an empty string, basically. So now we have a message struct. We're going to need a buffer to hold those.
These mistakes have no one else to blame.
Just thinking about the best way to do that. Basically, you want like a circular buffer, but
Our emotions are one and the same. So come on over, we can persevere. So come on over, we can persevere.
let's climb back up to the top. I'm just going to set it up as a message log. Ah. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So we'll do list. Let's see. What's list remove do? Just to that. It takes the element. So now it removes the head of the list. So the oldest will be at. Oh, that'd be good. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So we're always gonna want to insert at the tail. Insert the message. And now's the circular. I'm only going to save like the last, let's just save the last 10, 20 messages. So we may want to display a bigger log somewhere else. So let's save the last 20. So let's just say if list size, I think. Size works, yeah. Greater than 20. We're going to list remove. And so list remove if it gets a null. It removes the head of the list, so that'll be oldest message. Alright, so we've added the message to our list. We'll keep the printf for now. We're going to get rid of it. This now becomes debug. Because the important part was adding it to the message log. Built. Let's get into, so messages will happen. Comment. Oh, we got a crash. Yeah, message log size 1. So that worked, but let's debug and see what did we do? Let me see. Just can see that. Good. Did we do? Did it blow up somewhere in code? It blew up some. Okay, it blew up in render. That's not good. Active screen looks good. Views looks. There's one. Let's see if that was a. Shut this down. So we didn't see that. Oh, the attack missed. Okay, it did print that. Exploded. See if that's usable. Let's do it again. We run out of music? Can't have that. Alright, a couple more minutes on stream and then we're gonna call it. I'm just trying to replace this. Yeah, so as soon as it. This time we got through. Heat corruption. That's not good. Okay, so we've got something that we're not either double deallocating or we're trying to get into something that was not allocated, which is I'm not sure that it has anything to do with this stuff we just added. Maybe. Well, maybe it does. That's freaking weird. Alright, so it's something wrong with the. It is the code we just added, so that's a relief. I was a little bit worried that it was the stuff that we did just before this with all of the by factoring. So let's check our memory here. So we're allocating a message. If it's not null, we are then allocating space for the message that we're passed, copying that message into buffer. Do we need a? Should copy the terminator as well. I'm going to step through this code. Oops. Attach in the debugger, go to add message, right? Is it? Add message. Save that. Sorry. Let's put a breakpoint right here. Alright, so I just tripped the message. The attack hits is what's coming in. Message is not null, so we're going to say okay. Copy. The message gets the attack hits. Looks good. Foreground color gets assigned. Message log is null, so now message log should get set to something useful. To size 0. Alright, so it is allocated. So now we're going to insert it. So size is 1. Tail are the same object, which is our and it's not 20, so okay to me. And with another message. Not allocating it this time. Adding it, now our size is 2. Our head and our tail should be different values. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna breakpoint, let it fly. That shouldn't work. That it works when your message is close the debugger. Well, it works quite well when we're debugger, which is not good. So we've corrupted real life. Stop. The only thing I can see, I need to string copy allocate. I think this might have to be malloc +1 because, let's see, size of. Oh, that's not. It's not size of. I want string length. That's. I think we did it in the other. Yeah, so I think it's writing into memory I didn't own right here. So this should be string length, not size of. Size of message is going to be just a single. A single 32-bit value because it's a pointer to char. Let's run this. Let's save this and run this. Alright, now we're back in business. Okay. No more crashes. Alright, so the last bit is now we need to write a need to add a view for the message log, and we need to add a render function for that view, and then add that view to the game's screen. So again, we're gonna assemble all that stuff here out in the open. This isn't gonna be its final resting place. But until we kind of figure out exactly how we want the view system to work, just keeping this all front and center. So we're going to do another UI view. This will be log view. And we'll add a render function that will be message log render. Call it list. Insert after. Add this to IG views. It doesn't matter what order we put these on, so they're not going to be rendering the same section of the screen. I believe we made it's global message log. So we're going to render the last 5 messages. So we're going to work from the tail backwards. start by pointing at the message log tail. And what we're going to do is we'll set up a... This is kind of hokey. Let's see. Let's get the messages to show. For just to show, we'll call it I equals let's see, what's the just list data takes the element, which is going to be our so we need message equals, this goes over here. So we got pointer to the message that is stored in our log, and then so the message that we want to show just do that. This is where we want the messages to show. This is going to be a message pointer. Now that we have that structure. So messages to show is going it's going to be and then we are going to backwards. So E is going to be to E list prev. So that's what we want.
Tuning out of starlight, the innocent lifetime flickers and flashes under a canvas. No, nobody seems worth it, while the feeling's sophisticated. The view is so restricted.
So we need some protection here, because if we don't have 5 elements in the list, we're gonna explode. So if E is not null, we're gonna do this. Otherwise, gonna bail. We're gonna get out of here. Done. So this is get the last 5 messages. And then this will be to you.
Read about your life in your local local papers. Realize the end of us getting near. You're just a droplet of paint trickled off your canvas.
So
Delirious illusion flowing backwards to the river of color while we analyze to try to see it clearer. Secretly appealing to a lonely prisoner. Now what's your vision? Initiate your shading, blend the universe together in time. It only gets a little easier.
if I should do this draw
Together now.
here.
What's your vision?
We'll add that in next time. Let's just get it to render to the screen. So I've got this console function. Just like a put whole string. What? It's complicated. Sure. Alright, you know what? I think that this, like, it's here somewhere. Because I've written it, I just don't, I've brought it into the yet. Bear with me.
And I don't wanna have to give a damn
No, no, no.
about you or your
Not this.
inhibitions. And after all, you're the one who taught me love was not for everybody. However, I'm starting to see this world in the right light, yet it still gets darker. You see, it's just a simple symphony or a painting, whatever. It's a natural path that spans infinitely, but my world is crumbling. Let it collapse.
There it is. Put string in rect. This is what I want.
In the midst of summer, it won't exist.
So my
This emptiness, it's just a blank slate, waiting for a painter to interfere. It's quite complex, but what I know.
see, it's gonna work. Takes the console, takes the string, and then it takes the rect to put it in. To make sure that builds. Yep, okay. Use this to render them now. Do PT my stuff. Just get this out because I'm just using it for call reference. So we're gonna do I can do else. Alright, so messages to show will be. Let's see. This is not right. This is going to show them backwards. It should be messages to show. It should be hey Blacken, what's up? How's it going today? Alright, let's just see how this looks. Let's just get it right. Ever seen internal? Internal is just something I defined. It's just a define. It's the same as static. It's not standard C. It's just something I have for this particular code base. Because there's 3 different uses for static, the keyword static in C. So I've kind of redefined them to be a little bit more readable. So we've got internal, local persist, and global variable, because depending on where it's used, static, if it's on like a function or something, that means it's local to that compilation unit, so I just call it internal. Local persist is for when you declare a static variable inside of a function. It will persist that value locally, and it'll only be local to that function. And then global variable is if you do static at the top level of scope for variables, it'll be visible everywhere. So I'll just kind of redefine those to be more clear. I'm just going to render these things here. So the message log is going to be the bottom 5 rows of the screen, and our screen right now is 45 rows, so it'll be from it'll be 41, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 4, 2, 3. Okay, so we'll do. So it's going to take our console. It's going to take our character string, which in this case is message. I think it's message, which is kind of dumb. Let's just do this. And then it's going to take the rectangle, which will come back to wrap, which will be false in this case. Don't want to wrap. Actually, and then foreground color, background color. So foreground color is going to be FG color, and our background color is going to be probably completely transparent. Hey, Mr. Love Pickle, what's going on? Long time no see. So our T-rep is defined. There it is. So it's just X, Y, width, and height. So we are 80 pixels wide. And the message log, maybe we'll have it take up half of the bottom of the screen, so we'll make it like start at column 40. Yeah, long time no stream is right. I'm sorry about that. It's tough to get a block of time to stream, but hopefully I can get on some sort of schedule that will allow me to do that semi-regular basis. So X is going to be row. No. This will be it's 41. To col is going to be, that'll be constant. So our X is going to be column, and our Y is going to be row. And then we need width and height. So width is going to be 40. It's gonna So we're taking the message out of the list. Gonna define a rectangle font. Put that into string. Well, let's see what's there. Nope. Explosion. Alright, what did we do? We are blowing up in copy blend, which means we're trying to copy. It doesn't like the way that we've defined our pixels. That's what we call stack. Console looks good. My message looks good. Foreground color is good. Let's go one. It's 5, so it's trying to do the it's the N in current, and for some reason it doesn't like that at all. It's 41. This is 45. Those seem reasonable. Color 0. was that? Trying to do alpha blending. It's the unable to read memory destination pixels, so it's trying to get the destination rect. $721. It's overflow. Why is it overflowing? There is no 721 row. Why? It's the destination. Takes a while. 656. Is Y coming in at 720? Is it because I'm trying to... X is 45. That's probably the issue. Yeah, I'm overwriting my notes here, so... Do I have a music playlist somewhere? I just have a Spotify playlist, where all my music comes from Monster Cat because it's royalty free, or I pay to make it royalty free, so that when I put my videos on YouTube and stuff, I don't get dinged for copyright infractions. But if you look up like Monster Cat on Spotify, they've got a ton of different playlists, and their catalog online there, so check that out. So I really want to start on row 40 and go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we get some. No, it still doesn't like it. Read access violation still on dest pixel. Now what's it complaining about? 721 still? What the crap? Why is X45? What is going on? Did I not, like, save? I saved my change. Oh. No? Zero. That's right. Yeah, it's complaining because I'm trying to do this. X is 45, that's fine. It's 40. It's gonna play. Test run. is coming at X. Y is coming at 720. Because cell Y is 45, which is not right. So console put at why are these are backwards. I'm sending in YX. No. Hold on. I'm sending in YX. And it's expecting XY. That's that's what you get for copy pasting your own code that's a bit old. So put charret gets XY, so we need to make sure that we're calling put charret XY. Alright. Let's see if we get some logs this time. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Okay, so we don't have enough space here to allocate it to, we're just clipping right off the side, which is good. That's how I set it up. I set it up not to wrap. And you have died. It comes in a different color, which is right, because the death text is red. Boom. Okay, so that looks... That looks good. I'm happy with that. We're going to move this, the column, we're going to start at column 30. Give ourselves a little bit more. Alright, come and get it, Goblin. Oh, I need to make it wider now. So I'm still truncating it after the characters. So now we want the width to be 50. Alright. Killed the goblin. Woo. I believe it's... I'm not sure that the order is proper. And we're putting out too many messages here. So we're scrolling like right off the top of the screen. Pretty quick. Kobolds are very tough to beat in this game, the way I currently have the stats. It's probably gonna get us. I feel like the ordering is not right down here, but I'm just happy to have the stuff down on the screen. So the top the last message output is the current HP 17. Yeah, so it's putting them in reverse. It's in reverse order here. So maybe let's get it displaying in the right order and then call it a day, because I've been streaming for a few hours now. I think we've completed a really satisfying chunk of work. So what we want to do is the row is going to be so we
Just a glance was all it took for me to fall, but you don't even know that you were looking at me, and when you smile with your eyes that pass right over me like I'm as out of place as I feel to be. You're a little too close or too far away. It's much too early.
reverse these.
Maybe I'm too old now. I'm just afraid that you'll walk away. You're across the room from me, but it's an ocean wide, and the current's pulling us, dragging me aside. Oh, you're a constellation, and I'm just a star, blinking in the universe. But you'll never notice me at all.
I don't need this anymore.
Even if the words don't
Ah.
come out, they're here inside my head, stuck inside my mouth.
Row is going to be started at 40. Trying to figure out the best way to do this on the fly. Alright, so we'll work backwards. If message count is 5, then we'll do row equals row minus equals 5 minus message count. So if we have one message, it'll be row minus 4. It'll still should work. And then we'll do 4 So we're going to render these backwards. We shouldn't have to test for null. Theoretically, it should be valid, but it's in here. Safety. Nope, didn't like that at all. Hey, the game supports sound. I don't currently have plans for it to support sound, but I haven't ruled it out either. I personally think that sound really greatly enhances a game. So we may end up putting it in. It won't be until everything else is finished, essentially. I failed my math somewhere. I'm sure I'm trying to write to cell 45 again, yeah. Problem. So that I started it. Let's start this here. Come on, Steve's work. Let's see, here it says you hit for 2. So it should, the last message was HP 18. Yep, now it's displaying it. It's just, I've got too many messages right now, so it's logging a lot of debug messages and everything, so. Uh-oh.
Stop my heart barely beating, and now I'm stuck on repeat. I can't sleep through this madness. It's madness.
Something crashed.
Fire suffer to live in the ashes, in the ashes.
Corruption.
That's what happens when gasoline plays with matches.
Do I not get a calls? Get a call stack, that's crap. Alright, I'm gonna leave that for another stream, or perhaps off stream. I'll just figure out what's going on. And I'll clean up some of this log view stuff as well. I won't be logging so many messages to the logs. But I'm super happy with work we got done today. We basically implemented the foundations for our UI system so that we can start rendering multiple views to the screen at the same time, and kind of abstracting those into collections of views. And we did all that without completely destroying our current code base with riddling it with bugs or anything. It was a pretty clean implementation. So let's see, check our checklist here. So we've got views. The next chunk of code is going to be to I want to get everything on the in-game screen kind of rendered, set up the different views, get it all rendering, and then we can start adding other screens to the game. Like we'll have a start screen, starting menu, and then we're going to need in-game menus as well. I think that we're off to a good start. I'm pretty pleased with the GUI code that we have so far, and we're just going to expand and enhance those different functions as we go forward. So I'm going to call it today. Thanks for watching. If you want to catch previous streams, everything's archived on YouTube, so you can check out the YouTube link. If you have any questions or comments, you can always hit me up on Twitter at PDCodes. And all of the source code is available on GitHub, so if you want to download it and build it and play along at home, you can do that. What do I use lists for here? What do you mean? I just use linked lists are one of the data structures that I use kind of as my my data structure for various collections. So if you see a list defined, that's a doubly linked list. If you're familiar with that. So thanks everyone for watching. If you want to catch me the next time I stream, which will hopefully be in the not too distant future, be sure to hit that follow button to get stream notifications. And thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you next time.